Okay, so this is just a quick demonstration of a series of modules that I made for VCV Rack called Ondas. So I'm gonna show you really quick how you can use them. I'm really proud of them, so I want to showcase them right now. So first I'll start with one of my modules called Klok with a K. So this is just a simple uh, clock that you can use, but I added some modulo outputs that are really useful for making different kind of patterns. I'm going to show you in a minute how to use them. So with this clock module, you can just use this switch to start running the clock, and you can see here the light is turning on. And you have this output that you can use to reset sequencers. You can choose a tempo for your clock, and you can use these different outputs to make different kinds of patterns. So the clock is going to be counting to 8, and when you get the remainder of the division of the number that you see here, you'll see the output activate like in a regular modulo operation in coding. So this clock by itself can't do much, but I'm going to show you in a minute how you can use it with the other modules that I made. So the second one that I want to show you is one called Baboom. So this Baboom module is the drum synthesizer. And you can use it in combination with the clock or with other modules that I'm going to show in a minute to just make different rhythms and drum patterns. So in this Baboom module, I just synthesized different kinds of drum sounds. So you have a kick, you have a snare, a closed hi-hat, an open hi-hat, and there's another sound that I called effects. You can have different individual outputs for each sound, and you can also change the volume or the amplitude of each one of the sounds, or you can use this single output that outputs all of the sounds mixed together. Here I have some triggers that you can use to hear the sounds. Currently, I made a mistake with the module, so you can only detonate the trigger when there's something connected, but I'm gonna fix it in the next iteration of the module. So I'm gonna connect the first output here to the kick so we can hear it, and I'm gonna connect the mixed output to the scope. So we just can see what these modules do. Just by pressing this button, you can hear the kick sound. So these parameters can be used to change the sound of the drum synthesizer. You can see here we have 4 columns of sounds because you can use each column to manage and to change the sounds of each drum part, but I only have 1 column for both hi-hats, the closed one and the open one. So you can use the third column to change the sound of the hi-hat. So for instance, for the kick drum, we have this distortion that we can use. So you can hear that it can get pretty distorted. We can also change the length of the kick. And you can also change the tuning of the kick. And this input can be used to use CV to change the tuning of each sound. So let's hear the snare too. We can lower the volume a little bit. I really like this snare sound. So you can also change the distortion, lower the volume. So I think that these two modules in combination are really powerful because you can use the modulo outputs to create really different patterns. So let's say I want to, I don't know, put this here and this here, and the hi-hat I want to put it here. I don't know, I'm just choosing randomly. Then I can start running the clock, and we can like hear a drum pattern. And we can just change the parameters of the sound. Okay, and I can just stop the clock. Okay, so these are two modules. I'm going to show you a third one, which is called Secu. Secu is just a sequencer that you can use to define different sequences for your drum patterns or for controlling CV. So instead of using the clock, you can use the clock to trigger the sequencer. You can also connect the reset output to the reset input, so you can restart your song. And now we have these 5 inputs that we can connect to trigger different drum sounds. So I made a really simple drum pattern. I'm gonna turn on the hi-hats too. I'm gonna activate. And you can hear like a more conventional pattern. But this sequencer also has this probability glitch. So you can choose what's the probability that you want to put in your sequencer, and when the probability, or when the random number generator chooses to make a glitch, it will just jump to another part of the sequence, and then it will continue the part where it was, or the step where it was. So let me show you putting lots of glitch probability, and I'm going to change this sequence so we can hear it better. So you can see this is just randomly changing because I move the probability up to 1. But if I move the probability just to a little bit, let's say 20% of probability of glitching, we can hear a more regular pattern. Let's make it faster. So I think you can make really like nice, interesting patterns with this probability glitching. I really like this feature. Another thing you can do with this sequencer is just to choose random steps. So if I press this button, this will just generate different patterns. So let's run this again. And you can use this randomization sparseness just to choose how field of triggers or of gates you want to fill your random pattern. So if I put this in a high value, it will cover every single one of the elements in the sequence. But if I just make it more sparse, it will just choose some of the available dots, we could say, in this sequence matrix. So yeah, you can just generate random patterns and find the ones that you want, or you want to make a less sparse randomization, you can also make it. And you can choose, you use CV to change the glitching probability, or you can pass here a gate or a trigger just to detonate another randomization process. So yeah, you can combine these 3 modules and make nice sounds and patterns. The third one is it's called Sinner, and it can be used to create different scenes in your songs or in your compositions. So let's say that I want to have two different patterns or two different scenes with different drum patterns. So I can duplicate this. I can duplicate this Baboom and Secu, and I can just say, okay, my first scene is going to be this pattern and Baboom making the sounds with this pattern. And for the second one, I'm gonna use this other sequencer and this other synthesizer. Actually, I could use the same one, but just to make things easier, I'm gonna just use two different drum synthesizers. So I can connect it here to the second scene. So what Scener will do is it will start in this scene, it will repeat it a couple of times, and after getting to the specified number of steps, it will go to the next scene. And it will continue to the other scenes in the composition, we could say. So before I start this thing, I'm gonna also use the clock pattern to connect it to the trigger, so the scener knows when to change. But I'm not gonna connect it to the reset. Sorry, I'm gonna connect it to the seventh output. So we could like count 8 steps as a different scene. Here we can choose how many scenes we want to have in our composition. So I'm gonna just choose 2 because I just to have these 2 scenes. We can choose how much crossfade do we want between scenes. So this can be useful sometimes. We can choose if we want to loop the scenes. So I'm gonna leave it in 1 or in looping mode. We can also reset our scenes. So I'm going to connect this to the reset part of the clock. And I also have these two parts that I call alerts. So you can choose to detonate or to elicit these alerts when you get to a certain point in a scene. So if you choose like 0.5, it will detonate always in the half of the specified a specified number of scenes. So if you have like steps in a scene. So for instance, if you want to have this scene repeat 4 times before going to the next one, this alert will detonate in the second step. So you can use this to like make different generative sounds or to detonate pads or more ambient stuff, I think. But you can use it for whatever you want. But that's the use that I was thinking for about when I made this alert thing. So I'm going to choose this scene to repeat 4 times or to have 4 steps, and this scene to repeat 2 times, let's say. And now I can run my clock. Oh, I'm going to choose randomize so we can hear a different pattern. So we are in this scene, and when it repeats 4 times, it will change to this scene. There we go. So let's say in these scenes we only hear the kick drum. Perfect. And you can use all of the channels of the 5 channels in this scener to make different compositions. I know that 5 is not a really canonical number for music, but I don't know, I just liked it, like the size of the module and how it works with the 5 elements. Okay, so we're almost done. My last module is data or signal corruption module, which is called Distroi. So this module can be used to achieve different effects. You have bit crush, you have decimate, you have distort, you have glitch, and you have crop. So the first 3 are really like common effects. So bit crush and decimate just change the bit representation of the signal or the sampling of the signal, and distort just crops the top and bottom parts of the signal. So these are just really regular distortion effects. But these two, glitch and crop, I think are more novel and interesting. So crop, for instance, will just sometimes lower completely the amplitude of the signal, like really fast, and glitch will just replace parts of the signal randomly in the input signal. So I'm going to show you how to use this Distroi module. So I'm going to put a VCO, and I'm going to just change this to see the signal of the VCO. So for instance, we can use just a regular sine wave. I'm going to put it here in the bit crush part. Change the time, change the trigger. Okay. So, I think I'll have to lower the volume. Okay. Let me use a BCA instead. Okay, so here with bit crush, you can just like reduce the crushing of the signal, or reduce the bit representation of the signal instead. Here you can attenuate like a CV input that you can use for modulating the effect. And here you have dry and wet. So if I just put full wet, you can see that this signal was really bit crushed. If we put decimate, the effect is going to be similar. If we use distort, we're just going to have a really common distortion. But let's see the glitch and crop sounds. I think these are more interesting. Well, all of them are interesting. So yeah, with the glitch sound, you can choose here how much glitching you want. So you put a lot of glitch, you'll see that the signal is just jumping around. But with just a little bit, you can also see like a really messy change in the signal. And if you put the wet up to the top, you can see that it is just like really weirdly changing parts in the phase and in the sampling. Okay. And crop has a really similar sound. So yeah, you can try this effect and you can use it in your composition too. So if you want to really go to extremes, you can actually connect the outputs of one effect to the inputs of the other, and you can get this kind of really crazy glitching effects. So yeah, and you can use this also to distort the signal of the drums or anything you want. You can change the or modulate the effects using CV. So just to finish this, let's connect this to the scener, and we can use it in the second scene. And instead of just hearing the sound, we can just hear it in a scene composition. So I'm going to connect the scener again here. Yeah, and I'm going to turn on the clock again. Let's wait until we change our scene. Oh, I forgot to, I'm sorry, I forgot to connect the output of this second part of this VCO, so we couldn't hear it. So I'm going to use a mixer just to hear both sounds when we use the audio output. So sorry for that. Let's see, we have here, so we can use this as an input, these two, and we can use just a mix here. Okay, let's try again. And you can hear the crossfade. So if you want to have a more radical change, you can just put it to change the scene immediately, and it can have a different effect. So yeah, that's it. I hope you like the modules, and yeah, let me know what you think and have fun. Bye.